So, before the gig, before the madness, we just want to get a little insight into how hectic your life is when you go from gig to gig. And I suppose it all sort of starts in the hotel room before you go to play. I mean, this is a nice hotel room. What do you look for in a room what's the absolute must when you're staying somewhere?
The most important part of a hotel room is 100% the comfort of the bed.
Yeah.
Because I don't really care about the size. I mean, am I really gonna be sitting here or
Maybe
be like walking around? I mean, all I care about is like if the bed is gonna get me into that zone where I need to be repairing my brain as much as I possibly can for the limited time that I can do it.
Yeah.
That's the most important. And the second is the water pressure from your shower.
Okay. That's a good one.
Yeah, that's like a really important part because like of your experience now.
And do you always get the same excitement and feeling before you play every gig, or is there certain places where you get that little bit extra?
Yeah, I mean, definitely there's certain places where the pressure's on.
Okay.
And I know that my set is gonna be more influential than just that room.
Mm-hmm.
Like the places where I feel I get like my nerves start going crazy and I start thinking too much and I get super anxious, and I still get that way, like Tomorrowland or like Ultra or one of those sets where like, okay, we're gonna broadcast this online to however many 100,000 people are gonna watch
millions.
It. Yeah, millions of people. It's gonna then be on YouTube forever, and so I'm like, okay, I gotta finish these songs.
Yeah.
The debut of like for this one, I'm making special edits for these records. You know, so like those ones like kind of are great benchmarks throughout the year, because then I can have these deadlines to, you know, push myself to finish edits and new songs, remixes that I can debut there.
Yeah.
And then the other shows get like that same treasure trove of all that new stuff.
And aside from the music, your shows are obviously really high energy. You know, you get involved with the crowd. That's probably like a really key. Well, it is a key component to your performances. Do you ever get a bit? I'm a bit tired today. I don't want to go and crowd surf or throw cake or whatever. Do you ever get that? Or
you know, when you do, like when I've done all these shows, of course, there's going to be a few of them where I am like physically exhausted or I am just sick.
Yeah.
You know,
because everyone expects this of you.
Yeah. So like even in that moment, I don't know what it is, but adrenaline kicks on in my body, and I could have been like hospitalized before.
Yeah.
Which I have been, like where I played a show and I went straight to the hospital because I was so dehydrated. I went,
oh right, okay.
So like 4 years ago, but I still like, I don't know. You get this adrenaline like switch on, and once that connection's made, then like everything starts working. But you know, like let's say you play like a raging party, it's easier to have your energy on, right?
Yeah.
But when you play like a cocktail party for like a private gig or something, then it's just like people have their back turned towards you, they don't really care, they're having their own conversations. I just was inclined to stage dive into this trampoline thinking that I would just land on my feet, but you know, with my trajectory and how I was going, and it was obvious that I was going to come out, you know,
not in a good way,
and not in a way I could control it. So you know, I hit my head and my neck, and I was able to like get out of it in like 30-45 seconds. I got up, and then I started DJing, started playing, like mixing into the next song, and then my neck just froze like a brick, like it just wouldn't move, and then I had to end the set.
I love that he tried to carry on after
I tried.
Like Dave Grohl, do you remember when he did that for Foo Fighters? He broke his leg.
Yeah.
Went to hospital. Came back and carried on the gig.
That's amazing.
It's amazing. But I saw you afterwards, and bands around the ambulance, and it was like you wanted to get out the bed and go and carry on.
Yeah. You know, it's like you see these fans. They have so much energy, so much passion. They're living for that moment, and you live vicariously through their energy. You know, you kind of like put yourself into their place. That way, you don't realize how many times you played, you know, Boneless, or how many times you played No Beef, or whatever song that you played 1,000 million times.
You're still giving the classics though.
Yeah, you kind of have to. Like you do it just for them. You know?
Yeah.
And then you live in their moment, so it's not old.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it's like, all right, this is cool. Like even though I played this so many times, this is the Aoki experience that you can't like completely shy away from. You have to,
of course,
balance the new music with some of the classic.
Some of your tracks have featured on some films recently as well. How does that all work?
Yeah, that's an exciting new kind of project I'm working on. Just working with more, with films outside of just my own EPs or albums.
Yeah.
And it's great because you get like a scene, what you would imagine. You get a scene that has no music, and you have to write what you expect the sound would be.
Okay.
And
is that tough?
It's tough. It's very tough. It's actually really hard to do because you're not doing it for yourself.
Yeah.
You're doing it for something that you need to take yourself out of like what you would ordinarily think about a song, and see how it's going to reflect and relate to a scene that's going to be seen to all kinds of people. So they just want a piece of you. They'll like grab like some hair and they'll rip it out and be like, I got it. And I'm just like dying over here, so
just like a bald patch.
Yeah. But in Japan, everyone's so polite and respectful, they wouldn't like do that. So I can, have
still
fun
catchy
with
though.
them. Yeah,
that's good.
I don't really, I kind of like hang out with them.
Yeah.
It's less about like stage diving, it's more about
just interacting.
Yeah, it's more of an interaction. It's not as punk as it was.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm getting older, but the show has evolved in that regard where it's more about presenting and interacting with this music than say like jumping in the crowd so much.
Yeah.
We're
gonna see it tonight.
Yeah. You won't see much stage diving, but you'll see more music, more new shit.
And I've seen you in interviews and heard you say, because people always talk about the cake, and 1 minute you say, I'm going to phase the cake out. And then the next minute, you're bringing it back. And it's like, obviously people want that. That's like your thing. So, I mean, where are you at with the cake at the moment?
It's kind of if they want it, they're going to get it.
Okay.
I mean, I have them in my writer.
Okay.
So
they're there just in case?
Yeah, they're there because I'm also, I have to think about, like, there's fans that spend days making these elaborate, amazing signs.
Yeah.
And they have, like, they make their own cake me shirts, and they have their own like different way of like a slogan of how they want to get caked, and they're waiting for that. So I'm there to like provide
cake.
Fun. I want to have fun. I want to have a good time. It's not about like, I want people to come to an Aoki show and not be like, all right, man, that was the most serious thing I ever experienced.
No, of course
I want people to come and be like, yo, I had the best time ever. It was so much fun. So I'm still bringing that in my show.
Perfect.
When it makes sense, you know. And for a Dublin show, I'm sure they'll want the cake, but I'm sure they don't want an English cake.
What? Well, I've got some English cake.
Because English cakes are like bricks.
Let's have a look.
I don't know. I mean, it would actually hurt you.
Let's see if this passes the cake test. Don't throw it at me just yet.
No, I won't. But so.
I just want to eat it.
This is kind of scary. I don't know if we want to put these purple pearls in there. I might. It's all right.
I want to use these
I think we can do that.
I would actually, I think, be a little bit honoured if you threw my cake tonight.
Give a specific kind of design that you.
No, I mean you just do what you want to do. I'm just gonna draw a face.
Hey, I was gonna do that too.
We're gonna have two cake faces. I like green eyes because it's obviously Ireland, so. At a gig and thought, this is actually a good idea.
Well, the first time I threw the cake, it was absolutely not a good idea. It was one of those stupid ideas.
How was the reaction to the person that received it as well?
All right, well, I mean, the first time, people are just confused. I mean, I'm even confused at what's going to really happen. I don't really know what's going to happen.
Yeah.
And that's kind of like the beauty of the spontaneity of something like this, is that it could all go wrong.
Yeah.
And you could just be standing there holding the cake.